Hi there, welcome back to my channel. We are on lesson 133 of A Course in Miracles, and today's lesson is titled, I Will Not Value What Is Valueless. Sometimes in teaching there is benefit, particularly after you have gone through what seems theoretical and far from what the student has already learned, to bring him back to practical concerns. This we will do today. We will not speak of lofty world-encompassing ideas, but dwell instead on benefits to you. You do not ask too much of life, but far too little. When you let your mind be drawn to bodily concerns, to things you buy, to eminence as valued by the world, you ask for sorrow, not for happiness. This course does not attempt to take from you the little that you have. It does not try to substitute utopian ideas for satisfactions which the world contains. There are no satisfactions in the world. Wow, it's saying that you will never really find true peace and happiness in these material things that we have just thought to be of so much importance. We've just put them on a pedestal. Houses, cars, job titles, even, and any sort of title, actually, even being a good, spiritual, a devout spiritual person that prays every day, meditates all the time. I mean, these are all, these are just like ideas, but Jesus is saying that there's no true value in the things that we thought to be of such high value. I mean, even it's like business, like positions, job titles, all of it. All right, let's keep going. Today we list the real criteria by which to test all things you think you want. Unless they meet these sound requirements, they are not worth desiring at all, for they can but replace what offers more. The laws that govern choice you cannot make, no more than you can make alternatives from which to choose. The choosing you can do, indeed you must, but it is wise to learn the laws you set in motion when you choose, and what alternatives you choose between. We have already stressed there are but two, however many there appear to be. The range is set, and this we cannot change. It would be most ungenerous to you to let alternatives be limitless, and thus delay your final choice until you had considered all of them in time, and not been brought so clearly to the place where there is but one choice that must be made. Another kindly and related law is that there is no compromise in what your choice must bring. It cannot give you just a little, for there is no in-between. Each choice you make brings everything to you or nothing. Therefore, if you learn the tests by which you can distinguish everything from nothing, you will make the better choice. First, if you choose a thing that will not last forever, what you chose is valueless. A temporary value is without all value. Time can never take away a value that is real. What fades and dies was never there, and makes no offering him who chooses it. He is deceived by nothing in a form he thinks he likes. So Jesus is saying, anything that can be changed in form has no value. Even the body, because the body dies. Cars break down, money comes, money goes. Houses fall away eventually, or you can lose them. I mean, anything that can be lost, destroyed, decay, any of it, it is not truth. It is but illusions. They carry no value. Next, if you choose to take a thing away from someone else, you will have nothing left. This is because when you deny his right to everything, you have denied your own. You therefore will not recognize the things you really have, denying they are there. Who seeks to take away has been deceived by the illusion loss can offer gain. Yet loss must offer loss and nothing more. So, also, if you think by cheating somebody out of something is your gain, anything that you make as a loss to somebody else is your loss. And anything that you can take away from somebody has no value, because if it can be taken and given and taken and given in that form, it's not real. Your next consideration is the one on which the others rest. Why is the choice you make of value to you? What attracts your mind to it? What purpose does it serve? Here it is easiest of all to be deceived. For what the ego wants, it fails to recognize. It does not even tell the truth as it perceives it, for it needs to keep the halo, which it uses to protect its goals from tarnish and from rust, that you may see how innocent it is. Yet is its camouflage a thin veneer which could deceive, but those who are content to be deceived. Its goals are obvious to anyone who cares to look for them. Here is deception doubled, for the one who is deceived will not perceive that he has merely failed to gain. He will believe that he has served the ego's hidden goals. Yet though he tries to keep its halo clear within his vision, still must he perceive its tarnished edges and its rusted core. His ineffectual mistakes appear as sins to him, because he looks upon the tarnish as his own, the rust a sign of deep unworthiness within himself. He who would still preserve the ego's goals and serve them as his own makes no mistakes according to the dictates of his guide. This guidance teaches it is error to believe that sins are but mistakes, for who would suffer for his sins if this were so? And so we come to the criterion for choice. That is the hardest to believe because its obviousness is overlaid with many levels of obscurity. If you feel any guilt about your choice, you have allowed the ego's goals to come between the real alternatives. Another question or another kind of test to see if you are dealing with something of true value or something valueless is if there's any guilt involved in the exchange or the perception of what you are placing value on. Those are even relationships, not holy relationships, but special relationships. And there is a whole lot of guilt being placed within what we consider important relationships, but for the ego, these are special relationships, relationships between lovers, with your parents, with your children, family, co-workers, just friends, whomever. And there is a lot of guilt when it comes to even like gift giving, money. I mean, there's so much guilt associated with all of these things. That's how you know we don't need to put any value on those things because they'll die away anyways. They're not, they can be taken from you. They can disappear. And that's one of the keys to kind of mastering the mind is, as we've all seen in our own lives, with special relationships, people come in, people go out. Jobs come in, jobs come out. Money comes in, money comes out. Different houses, different cars, different companies, different constantly. We're buying things and we outgrow things and we give them away, we sell them. And it's just this like hamster wheel. And we never truly find that sweet spot. That's why we are always on the wheel chasing for the better relationship, chasing for the better job, the better car, the better house. We never attain that level of peace and contentment on that wheel of the valueless, even the relationships. And we're all about oneness and human connection, but there is a difference when we are connecting at a holy level and when we're connecting at a special relationship level. At a holy level, there is no guilt, no expectation. It is changeless. On the special level, it's the opposite, right? And that's why as soon as something goes wrong, we're off looking for the better replacement. Could be friends, could be company, lovers, whatever. And if you're not looking for the better replacement, you just pour on a whole lot of guilt. And you masquerade that as sticking this out, fighting this through. This friendship is worth fighting for. This relationship is worth fighting for. I'm just going to pour in a whole lot of guilt to make you realize I'm right, you're wrong. But we can continue on in this game where sometimes we feel a little bit good and other times we feel like complete shit. That's not real. That's not the truth of what we are, of who we are. Those are egos going back and forth with each other. It's not as God created us working. And if one is in true awareness of who they are, working with an ego, it's just gonna bounce off. It's just gonna like resist like a magnet at opposing. You are really gonna. It's just gonna feel like you're at opposing ends, and it's just it won't work. It won't sustain. And those that are really determined to see the truth, you will draw in those that are also determined to see the truth. And you'll find yourself entering into holy relationships with other people, and you'll also not put so much value. And again, it doesn't mean that you're not going to eat and drink water and try to keep this communication device in working order, but the relationship that you have with your body or with money or with job titles, it's going to change, and it's going to feel more conscious. It's going to feel more authentic. It's going to feel more connected, more purposeful, not just aimless chasing and trying to fill the hole, filling this emptiness within yourself. If you feel any guilt about your choice, you have allowed the ego's goals to come between the real alternatives. And thus you do not realize there are but two. And the alternative you think you chose seems fearful and too dangerous to be the nothingness it actually is. All things are valuable or valueless, worthy or not of being sought at all, entirely desirable or not worth the slightest effort to obtain. Choosing is easy just because of this. Complexity is nothing but a screen of smoke, which hides the very simple fact that no decision can be difficult. What is the gain to you in learning this? It is far more than merely letting you make choices easily and without pain. Heaven itself is reached with empty hands and open minds, which come with nothing to find everything and claim it as their own. We will attempt to reach this state today with self-deception laid aside and with an honest willingness to value but the truly valuable and the real. Our 2 extended practice periods of 15 minutes each begin with this. I will not value what is valueless, and only what has value do I seek, for only that do I desire to find. And then receive what waits for everyone who reaches, unencumbered, to the gate of heaven, which swings open as he comes. Should you begin to let yourself collect some needless burdens or believe you see some difficult decisions facing you, be quick to answer with this simple thought. I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. If you find yourself kind of scratching your head and trying to make these tough decisions, get rid of it. Say, wait a minute. This, I'm making it way too complicated. That's your other sign. It does not carry any value. The most valuable thing is the simplest of answers. It is truth. It is so remarkable how much the ego plays a leading role in this theater production called our lives. We were like, oh no, we don't have an ego. We're good. We're doing this work. Oh, even me. Oh my God. And I'm doing this work. And I may not get triggered over certain things that I used to get crazy triggered over. So a lot of that has been kind of put at bay. Not completely silenced, but I've noticed a big difference, thank God. But even just putting an outfit together, and sometimes it's fun to be creative, putting colors together and styles and trying different trends out, seeing what, works with the body, and even just describing it now sounds perfectly normal. It actually can even be a little bit creative and fun. But, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but when it gets to, it's a very subtle distinction of creative and then put on an outfit and then carry on in your truth, or trying so many things and maybe overthinking and getting even a little inkling of frustration over maybe, I really don't have that much to wear. I mean, it's like, boom, completely valueless. All of that. All of it. I mean, it is really subtle, and nobody's asking anybody to just stop living their life. No, you are going to live a very full life when you can really, really become aware of the number of times that guilt creep in, even over the tiniest of actions or decisions, to some of the bigger issues that will maybe crop up, especially when you do this work. But anything that does crop up is meant for you to see. It's not happening to you. It is meant for you to see it and say, oh, noted. Get rid of it. Gotcha. Noted. I don't want to be sound so nitpicky, but part of the mind training is to get really, really clear in shuffling through. And this goes for if you are really trying to heal your mind, you have to become real good at becoming extremely aware of the thoughts that come through your mind. Does that have value? No, that's valueless. You're gonna find, sadly, and then you're gonna think, oh my God, the majority of my thinking is of no value. So what's the point of me being here? Because now I have no thoughts. Guess what? That's when the magic happens. Almost that no thought moment. Because then you can think, well, if 90% of my thoughts are valueless, or the thoughts that I turn into action are valueless, then what do I have to do in life? Trust me, create that space and the valuable thoughts will come through. Get that canvas blank and the valuable thoughts will come through, which will turn into valuable action. Truly. And those are miracles. Even the thoughts, the valuable thoughts that come through once you allow that space, that's a miracle. And then it leads to another miracle and another miracle and another miracle. It just keeps going. It goes in flow. And you start to see the evidence of your life changing because you become so aware of valueless, crap that comes into our minds. And this course, Jesus is saying your mind is so valuable. Yeah, you can, thoughts do create things. Law of attraction, Abraham Hicks, they know what they're talking about. Get into that vortex. It's all the same. You're trying to get into that vortex by elevating your emotion. When you elevate your emotion, it is really cleaning the slate, cleaning that palette. There's, so what is valuable? Love. Being conscious. Caring, kindness. Compassion. Perfect happiness. Perfect love. Clean happiness, clean love. Okay, folks, lesson 133, I will not value what is valueless. Thank you for joining me today. Like, share, subscribe, or not. It's up to you. Till next time, I love you. God bless you. Take care.